As the teacher, Dorothy Heathcote, has said in another context, action without meaning is not educational for anybody. So, as we watch the slow and careful dramatic structuring of events, we can see Dorothy Heathcote and her teachers attempting to involve the children in action so that they can create meaning for themselves. Meaning can be created in many ways. The task focus, which keeps the drama active, is one important element. Another is the use of symbolisation to create shared meanings. An episodic quality, the slowing down of time, is also effective in giving all children a chance to see what they have created. In addition, the elements of dramatic tension and role protection help give the drama an immediacy and impact, which allows the children to become fully engaged in the learning process. Is there any aspect of this work that you feel you could apply to your own classroom, primary classroom teaching?
I think the main type of thing that you would apply, and which I haven't done it here and seen it now, which I will certainly apply, is the one where you've got to take your time. I found that over the week, when we were planning it, I thought, well, we're taking ages on this. But when you actually see it, it's not taking ages at all. And I think that's the basic thing, when you get into the classroom, you feel, I've got 40 minutes. This is what I must achieve, and you tend to go for it.
Will you help me make some pretty flowers for the garden? Without breaking them up. Can everybody help? Put your hands up if you're not.
task focus here allows the pupils different levels of engagement in the same problem while keeping the drama active. I did notice the sort of the episodic quality and the sort of slowing down of time.
Yes.
And
Yes.
do you see that as applicable
Yes.
to all classroom drama?
Yes, you slow into the event rather than travel through the event. So the event is explored as you're inside it. There's another thing there, I think, too, which is how you sequence that event so that they get the first part of the event that frees them into more knowledge for the second part of the event. So it's episodes rather than stories.
As I was noticing with the flowers, you started with the seed, shoot, and so on. Is that what you
Yes.
mean by episodic?
That's right, that's right. It would seem to me nonsense that a teacher suddenly produces finished jobs for people. Now you've done that, you don't need to bother with the rest. I think we need to bother much more with the rest than I think in ordinary classrooms.
And what about the element of symbolisation? Because the whole growing of the flowers was a symbolic process.
Yes.
Do you see that? How do you see that fitting into
Well, I
classroom?
see it very much again as if you help create the metamorphosis yourself and you get the feedback through the way you've torn some paper up in the context, in this case, of getting it to the shoot, you then see the symbolic representation. I mean, that is now a garden, whether people will see it as torn up paper or not. So giving visual feedback, or giving muscular feedback, or giving, it's like signing your signature with a 9-year-old is a declaration of aid. I sign, I'll help you. Well, a flower does the same in another way, doesn't it? We've made this.
How does that fit in then with a sense of the dramatic structure? Do you see any sort of need for protection? Do you think they're always aware that they're in drama? You think that's a significant thing?
I think these children, some of them will know that this is not a garden. And the boy who keeps chickens, for example, is sure to know, though he can't articulate it. For some children, there isn't a garden there. But I would say the same in a lot of classes where we think a concept is being worked to, and in fact it isn't. It's being worked just at the mechanical level. And it's this trying to get the context that carries the concept so that it comes into meaning as you do it. You see, the tasks people do seem to me important in drama, that what you find for the student to actually be physically and mentally engaged with.
Yes, I was interested in the sort of task focus, especially in the series with the garden, the way it was kept active, but allows different aspects to be explored.
Yes.
That was particularly noticeable, I think, in the digging sequence.
Yes. Yes. I mean, it would get a bit mechanical, possibly, but this seems to me the teacher's job to keep turning the material around and not get it fixed linearly. That you don't say, right, we've planted the seed, we'll grow the shoot. You say, what does seed planting yield in terms of action and intention and understanding? And where does that now lead us? And it doesn't necessarily at that stage lead us to green shoot. It did here because these children needed to see the change. For some children, you may have been dealing with gardens as horticulturalists. And in fact, there you may have done a lecture on the change, but you still need to get that change established in meaning, not assume they know. Because the lecturing on the change is the child's job, not the teacher's. Just as explaining to the man was our job, that the shoots needed the sun.
Yes, that seemed to be one of the moments where there was a feeling of waiting, or could hardly be termed tension, but do you feel there is, in this sort of drama, there is a need for some sort of tension element to hold it together?
Oh, yes.
What sort of tension do you think was operating with this sort of garden stuff?
I think the main tension from the garden would be twofold. I think the man's presence would, to a certain extent, be part of that tension, because then the making of the would be part of it, but then knowing we had to wake him up, waking him up to find the flowers. So of course, one has artificially structured that so that it could occur. And I think one of the things the ordinary teacher has to do is not only learn how to structure, but forgive themselves, because they tend to use manipulation as a pejorative term when in fact it isn't. It makes organisation possible, and it makes experience become possible. So I'm a great manipulator, of course.
Good, thanks very much.